Hello, and welcome back. Tuesday, 6 o'clock now, 6:07. So, evening sourcing video was back pretty early. Picked up the car at like 3 o'clock. So, I got a phone call that it was done being detailed. I don't know, like 1:30 or so. And we were down at Willoughby, down at the BOA. Got a couple things there. One, is this shirt is quite fitting, but in any of my videos, you're really not going to be able to see it. And it reads, I'm a teacher. That's not what it is, but it reads, I'm a teacher. I know things about stuff. So that's quite fitting because I know things about stuff and I'll tell people about it if there's a need to. I did pick up a few things, and my head is intentionally blocking what's directly behind me. I've had myself like that for a reason, because it's a very interesting thing that I got. My wife didn't really think it was like super cool. I think it's really cool, and that's the difference of eyes. But what I did source wasn't really a whole lot, so we will start off with this really cool thing. This. So it is sterling silver bound books. Is that neat? Sterling silver bound. No, just kidding. It's actually a jewelry box. And it's probably tin or zinc. And it just has, you can add, I forget, like graphite or something in these little grooves, and then you go over it again. So I just thought that it's real interesting kind of piece. A lot of craftsmanship went into it. There was a sticker on it for $6. It's kind of covering, well, I think it was right here, kind of covering that up. But, I think it's just, looks like a couple books, right? And I think it's really neat. So it's just going to hang out right here as a set piece. Not that I really have a set, but just to add a little different thing here and there. I think that's going to be too much for that. That might work, but I thought that was really cool. So it was $6, and that was 50% off, so $3 for that. All right, to the stuff that I got. So this was $1. It's only about $12, $14 CD total. Granted, unless I get to that store earlier when they have their 50% off sale, when I'm more likely to get a few things. We were going there later in the afternoon, so wasn't really expecting to get much. So I was definitely scooping up what I could. And when that happens, and I know, and a lot of times over sale time or just after a sale, or even when you get into selling more disc media, you're kind of able to tell, like, this store usually has a good selection of disc media that I should have 1, 2, 3, or 4 things in my cart by now, and you're already 50% through the store and you got nothing. Kind of generally tell, like, yeah, someone else has already come through, perhaps. But that's the good thing about selling media. That's what I was telling my wife. Was like, that's the good thing, is because I can go in there, and if a store I can only get 1 or 2 things from that store, it's still worth my stop. And ultimately, everything that I get throughout the day from the different stores, no matter which route I'm taking, it's an accumulation. So instead of it being 30 things, now it's 20 things, but I still got some stuff. And applies to that, right? So I was quite surprised. So I did start with the CDs there. And there's quite a few people coming and going. So I'm just trying to hurry up and grab the 15, go through them. That was about it for CDs wise. Get this cold calling, typing it up. Only one has sold, and it's sold new for like $40. aside of the case, which I have in this little tear right here, I can replace this case, make it look quite a bit better. Disc is what we otherwise call absolutely mint. It has that, so probably 30 bucks. Again, the half off of that, 50 cents. So this 3 days starring Jane's Addiction. It looks like it's an all-out movie. This one, I believe, has some, yeah, so this has some minor surface scuffs, little minor surface scratches on it. Nothing I'm going to go too crazy on about. Might get a 30-second spin, we'll see. Does have the insert. And this was put out 7/24, so a month ago. So I've already been there a couple times, and I know that this was there. Just never got it because of the condition of it. I'm like, $2. I got to put another spin on it. It's only about a $20 DVD, maybe a little less. So paid $1, and got to get a spin, get the spin, go from there. This is called Kokuda. About 15 bucks, 20 bucks. This was from Favors. A couple other things won't be done. And so this is a journal. And on the back, you probably can't see that too well, but it reads handmade in Italy. Dedication page. Nothing on that. A Rigby walking by. And even to where that needs to be undone. Has a ribbon. And this is made by a company called Fiorentin. Fiorentin. Journal, Bluebirds. So looking journal up for this, the just regular journal, go anywhere from like 20 bucks up to 50 bucks. So this is one that I paid $1.79 for. Can I list it for 30? Most likely. Got to do some more research, kind of see where I go with this. This book is only about $8-10 bucks. However, this looks like Rocky River, not Cog River, Rocky River. I've been there. That bell tower is in Berea. Okay, so that's downtown. Berea is by the airport. That's where the Cleveland International Airport is. That might be in Hiram. Baldwin Wallace. So that is also going to be Berea, Middleburg Heights. That's actually where my sister does some police work at. Cauga Valley. So this is a book on just Goodyear, right? So the hangar, that's down there by where my mom was at. What else is in here? I don't know, Plymouth Street, Sugar Coach, and Hanoverton. I don't know where Hanoverton is. All right, here we go. Here's a map. So here is, so this is Northeast Ohio. So Perry, I saw Perry in here somewhere. Perry North. So the nuclear power plant's right up here somewhere. And then North Perry. So I am Madison. The Madison Goodwill is pretty much like right about here. Yeah, so it's going to be all over that way. Pymantuming, Andover. So you go cross over Pymantuming. Here's the Pennsylvania line. So this is maybe an hour completely east of me. I'm going to be all the way up here, but this way. Brunswick. All right, so we have Medina. So where I'm coming from is all the way up here. And I go down here. The guy who has my bike, he is like right about in this area, right there. So interesting, and that's who's going to get this. So I got this just to give him as well. And then I have another bike repair, basic bicycle repair book. Different. I think it's different than the other one I gave him. All right, there's nothing to do with that. So we're going, and when I talk about strange and unusual and catchy artwork, tell me that artwork right there isn't strange and catchy. Very interesting graphic on this dust jacket. When I typed it up, not paying attention that it was book club, when I typed it up, they come up like 40, 50 bucks. The book club edition, not quite as much. Closer to 20, paid 3, still make money on it. Still a real interesting graphic on that. Very, very interesting. So that's only about 20 bucks. Then when I was at the VUA, I had what? The DVD and the CD. At that point, that was it. And a couple other things I had to hand type. I get all the way down. It's always the last place you look. And this was literally the last book that I looked up, because I'm at all of them, all the ones that I looked at, well, probably only about 20. It doesn't take long either. Just have to hand type a couple keywords out of something, or a keyword in the author's name, or just simple scan. And this was on the very bottom shelf, very last bit of the books. Definitely themed enough, niche enough for it to be looked up. Of course, we got this covering that up. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pass it up. You kind of go from there. So this is, it's got someone's sticky note on it. Someone who worked for ADP, which my dad worked for ADP. He still works for them, except for that department of which he works for and was bought out by SDK, maybe. So this is Jig and Fixture Handbook by Carr Lane, Carr, Lane Manufacturing, 314. Isn't that? Or was it 316? I thought 314 was from West Virginia. But this is a 1995 third edition. Second edition ones, the more recent ones that have sold are second edition, anywhere from mid 30s to mid 40s. One in the Terra Peak. The book themselves can still range from 50 to 70 bucks. The third edition, I don't know, but it's still kind of safe to say that I could probably put a $50, maybe 50, 60, 70 bucks on this. I think there's a couple listed, and they do sell kind of okay, kind of good. Maybe there's a handful, maybe there's like 7 or 8 listed and 3 have sold. Either way, I'm gonna see what I can do to try to get these off. I just used a butter knife and just kind of start pulling, and if the sticker's going to come off easily by just pulling on a couple corners, I'll try to take it off. If not, I'll just leave it. And this is the Savers winner here. Again, at Savers didn't really have much. So this is called by Magda Weigand. I knew a Weigand way back in the 80s, early 90s, except for W-E. And this is Kochbuch, or cookbook. And this is Der Donisch Schwaben. Donisch Schwaben, I'm going to guess. Because the W in a lot of European countries is not a W, it's a 2V. Which is why it's a U, I don't know. When there was, I'm not going to get into the lexemic of words and stuff. So the ones that have sold, so this, I did have to go to Terra Peak 4, and I did have to go all the way down, because you can go on the far right, and you can go into site. And I scrolled all the way on just the US site or eBay.com. I think one has sold, and it was like 40 bucks. So I went down to all sites that will include all sites across the globe. And varying on years, they're anywhere from 50 to 90 bucks. With shipping, and that's still going to be, Terapeak is going to show what the buyer paid for shipping, not necessarily what it would be to get it to a different country, because someone may have been back to Austria. This may have been listed in Austria, and in Austria, the person paid the amount of shipping that was charged. But still, they're anywhere from 60 to just shy of 100 bucks for those ones. But those ones also range from like the mid 80s to the early 90s years. I want to say that's what they were, or mid 70s to 80s. And this is a 1963. 1963. A little FYI, the year that's going to be on the title page is, chances are it's going to be, that's the year it represents. And then down in here, 1963. So it is in whichever language this is. I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but either way, pretty decent book for, I want to say this one was $4. So we'll say 70, make this into 120, say 150, 200, 300 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 bucks. That's for, what I spent for the stuff there. I mean, I did get this book here. I got this whole thing. I think I talked a little too much. Yeah, definitely much longer sourcing video than of what it should have been for what I have here. But I find that this is just really, really cool. All right. I mean, aside of this right there, but I mean, if it's foil, it's a strong foil. So that's why I think it's like a layer of tin. And there is I don't think somebody would use like actual sterling, and plus, yeah, it doesn't have that sterling smell. It doesn't really have a smell. So it could be just aluminum foil or tin. Zinc would have a smell. It's just really cool. All right. So you go that way. Well, like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned. I'm sure there's a few tidbits in here about something. Tell me thinking. Comment down below. Subscribe, share. Those all help. It's gradually growing. Channel. Appreciate it. Thank you.